welcome to episode 6 of the Rallying Cry podcast. We've got a whole group of us with us today. A few topics we're going to go over, what we've been up to in the hobby, games we've played, talk through the news, and then a bit of what we're looking forward to at the team event being run by Dan and Al up at Patriot Games. Is it called? In Sheffield?
Yes, indeed it is. Yeah, Patriot
On
Games.
the 1st of June.
It is indeed.
Yes, Sunday. It's a one-day teams event, which there's not many of, I don't think. I've definitely not heard that there's many of one-day teams events.
Yeah, you've got the full 8 teams, haven't you? So 24
we have indeed. Oh, dog.
Yeah,
dog.
Definitely a dog.
I'm trying to tilt my camera because he's pointing at the sky. There we go. See my face now. Yeah. We'll talk about it at the end. That's cool. On the agenda.
So, in terms of hobby and games, I think is the first bit we want to talk about. Chat, do you want to go first?
Yeah, can do. Plenty of hobby, not many games for me. I don't think I've played any games since the Teams event that we talked about last time.
Like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, I know. Madness.
You all right?
I just played some games on Sunday. Me and my friends are playing some narrative campaign style 8th edition. Because one of the lads is stuck in the times and won't move on. So
got to break that mold, Jack.
Yeah, so we're initiating that campaign on Sunday. So I'm using halflings. So I've had to print out the Warhammer Army halflings, whatever. I don't know. Warhammer, is it WAP or is that 9th edition? I don't know. So I had to print that out. So yeah, I was planning initially of just using them as Empire proxies, but the games master was like, no, you've got to use them as halflings if you want to use them. So I've got to learn some new rules. That should be fun.
Got to play a game you haven't played for a little bit with someone who went with time. It's
going to be madness. Thankfully, we're only starting at like 750 points or something like that. So like even then, I've still got about 400 halflings or something ridiculous.
I was going to say, I bet they're like a point a model, right?
Yeah, they're basically like Noblars. So yeah, playing with strength 2, toughness 2, weapon skill 2 stuff is going to be interesting against high elves and ogres. So we'll see how that goes. And then hobby-wise, yeah. Well, 8th edition, everything wounds on a 6, so I don't have to worry. You don't have to worry like the old world would. And then hobby-wise, if Dan wants to share my screen,
absolutely not. 1 second. Oh, there we go.
Really short section, and if not.
So I can't remember what I've actually showed up to last time, but Liam printed me out some new heads for my Blood Knights, so I painted those up and got those added onto the Blood Knights.
Nice.
I painted up some cool old school ghouls.
I do love those. They were
they actually look like
getting into Warhammer.
Yeah, so I've got a few more that are in my Mordheim war band that I probably need to repaint to match this, and these will probably just join the Mordheim war band, to be fair, and rather than sitting in my all-world army. Then
they actually do look like. You'll see those ones. I mean, they're crypt horrors, though, aren't they? But
yeah, the other ones. We'll see the other ones in a minute. I made progress / finished the sort of Strigoi side of the army. So we've got 5 horrors, 5 Vargheists, 3 Vargulfs, 2 Terrorgeist, and these Vargheist wings are all magnetized, so they can turn to crypt horrors as well if I want to. I only thought that halfway through. I should have done that with the horrors as well, so they could go to Vargheist. But I didn't think until halfway through. Then I was like, that'd be a really good idea. So
go back and chop.
Yeah. So got those painted up. Made a start on a headstone for no particular reason. That was my friends printed up for me, so I just need to finish that off.
I need a headstone.
I did 2 zombie dragons.
Old school.
These are the really old school zombie dragons. Like probably
they're the original ones, aren't they?
I'm sure there was some before these when it was like the really old school sort of like what they call RAL something. Liam, what was the company? What were they called before Games Workshop? RAL Parther or something like that.
I've no
idea.
And they're usually on like proper metal. They're already on like metal little bases and stuff. I'm sure there's some pre these ones, but these are the original like Games Workshop-y ones. But they look ridiculous on these massive bases, so I've had to get creative on the basing to try and make them. So they're basically little dioramas on themselves. So so I quite enjoyed having a play around with those.
Yeah, I really like the fact that they like work together as a pair when you put them together like that.
Yeah, I was going to bring it to Dan's team event, but he's running 1,750, so unfortunately I can't bring both of them. So Dan's ruined my life, so I'm going to just have to bring some horrible filth instead of two fluffy dragons. But yeah, so so that's the original rider on. Oh, no, there must be some more photos of them a little bit later on. So that's the model that comes with it. I can't remember. I think it's got a name character, but I can't remember what it is. And then
isn't it the old Red Duke, that one?
No. It looks a bit similar to the Red Duke, but it's not. And then I use this Larmian vampire on the other one to sort of be a bit more necromancy.
The Red Duke originally is Vordry, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think it is.
I don't think
I could be wrong.
Probably wrong.
I think that was. I don't know what his name is, but it's definitely not Vordry.
Right. Because I think he takes over the Red Duke, and doesn't he, in AOS, I believe. But
yes, I think that's what it is.
Maybe that's what I'm getting.
But yeah, so this one I went for box art paint style, and this one I just sort of went for a bit more dead rotten looking. So quite happy with how they came out. Yeah, we got the ghouls and some hex raves finished off. So they're ready to just sit in my box for a while. But
conveniently painted in Hex-Ray Flame.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So they're in good state. So that's pretty much all the vampires done now. Yeah, and I've made a little banner. I cut up a Pepsi can, and other drinks are available, and sort of added the banner onto his banner pole because it didn't come with the original banner. So I had to get creative.
All the drinks are available.
Yeah, we've got the two terror guys, a bit more dragons, and the rider I painted up, more dragons.
She looked like an undead, kind of like undead dark elf sorceress.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the hair.
The like 80s, the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. I do like that though.
Yeah, it's a cool model.
I actually like the tones you've done on the skin, like the colder bluey colours.
Yeah, so that's what I've tried to go for the vampires, sort of like blue undead look. This one actually layered. This one actually layered on, so there's a contrast paint as the sort of darker blue underneath, and then a few layers of lighter blues, which is the first and last time I'll probably do.
Where's our actual Jack gone? I'm scared. Like
the rest of it's all contrast.
He's layering. Yeah. This is not our real Jack, Liam. Someone's kidnapped him.
So I get creative, and then I decided I don't like it because I suddenly went too light, and then I was like, oh no, how do I go backwards?
Add more contrast.
Yeah. Back to the contrast. We painted up the original Orion.
Yeah.
So I bashed him out over a couple of hours during the week after the leak.
That one's got so much more charm, I think, than the one that they've re-released.
Yeah, he's like quite basic. Like there's not much to him, but he's just I think he's just got a bit more character to his face and stuff like. Although his like antlers, you can't really tell from this angle, but like looking top on this, they're so thick, like sort of up down that way. Like they're like nearly an inch thick. It's surprised he can hold his head up. That's why his neck's so thick. So he got him painted up. There's another close up of the ghouls, and then yesterday I painted up Treeman.
Original
one. So I bought this one as part of like a bundle a couple of years ago when I thought it was fully complete, and I was like, okay, I'll throw it in some paint stripper and look get him stripped and repainted, and then while he was in the bio strip, like it turns out basically half this whole hip was made out of green stuff, and like half the he was missing various bits, and like half the like bits that he did have been like chopped in half and stuff like that. So I just had to hodgepodge him back together yesterday and just sort of stick random bits into random areas. But he came out looking all right. He found healthy.
Yeah, it looked alright. He definitely could have done a worse job.
Yeah, a few bit of contrast and a few dry brush layers onto him, and he was good to go. And that's sort of where I've been up to the last couple of weeks. The undead are pretty much done now. I've still got a few characters sat stripping paint in my sort of jewelry ultrasonic cleaner. So I've just not faced getting the toothbrush out to clean them off just yet. So still got those to finish at some point, and there's loads of skeletons and zombies, but I think I'm ready to move on to painting something else next. So whether it's a bit back onto Wood Elves, because I've still got probably 40 Eternal Guard, still a load of Glade Guard.
We need more Eternal Guard than that.
And I want to pick up a couple of the stag characters because they look like they're going to be quite fun. So there's a few things I want to pick up to get them done. I need to start painting these halflings. So I've not got a grey army on the board for the whole of the campaign that we're playing.
I'm not going to lie, I'm a little disappointed that you're not planning on painting them tomorrow, ready for Sunday.
Unfortunately, my parents have decided to come visit for the day. Otherwise, I would have had 400 halflings on the table. Don't worry about that.
So roughly in the last 3 weeks, you've painted about 5,000 points of stuff. We need to
but
double dragons,
as characters, the characters don't count.
They definitely count.
Yeah, they're in the list, so they count.
Yeah. If anything, they count more. You put more time and effort into them.
Yeah.
So pretty productive couple of weeks. I've had a sort of bit of a break the 2 weeks before that. So let's get these done. Dan's put me onto a new matte varnish, which doesn't leave all my bases super shiny, so I'm happy with that.
Great,
so I need to re-go over my tray scenic. What do we call it, Liam? I think with the display board. He's going with the display board with the matte varnish because I sprayed it with the other one.
Scenic tray thing.
Left the base all shiny, so I need to go back over that with the matte varnish.
So we're not mentioning the company unless it sponsors us. Is that the idea?
Yeah. You can see in the background here, I've got this new moss dirty down paint, which I want to try and give a use to because I've heard good things about the rust one and a few of the other ones. So I want to try and have a go with that, and I'll probably touch up the treatment and
is that a pigment wash? That?
Yes, I believe so. It's like apparently you got to give it like a proper good stare because it's just like a sludge at the bottom. And
I've been watching. Sorry, just dropped something. Stu Max from Miniature Realms. He uses a lot of like oil washes and stuff, and they do look amazing because like when he obviously does it, you can just wipe away the excess. And I think
I think I saw him using it on a well that he did recently.
That's one I watched. Yeah,
and so that's what made me. Nice. That's what made me buy it. So I'm looking forward to giving that a go. So I'll probably use that on like on the tree. I'm sure it looked good on that. And then I was thinking about going over. Like all the skeleton, adding bits to the skeleton bones, just making it look a bit more weathered and stuff like that in various places. If I ever want to go back to the vampire and do more painting. Productive couple of weeks, and I'm not quite sure what to go into next, but I'm sure by next episode I'll have delved in and painted 4,000, 5,000 points or something.
This is the second one in a row where you've done more than an army.
No, I think last time I hadn't done anything. Or done very little because I've been a bit burnt out.
Vampires.
No, I think that was the one before. But maybe not. Maybe I'm getting confused. So
definitely painted something.
So I don't think I came with any photos.
Maybe it was the one before.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, because I think the last one we had the games and you'd not took any photos.
Yes. Yeah. So it'll be a surprise next time. I've started adding some photos to the Facebook page as and when I'm sort of doing things. So if you want some better pictures,
More regular
maybe.
updates.
That's a reminder for everyone to go and follow our page now.
Follow us on Facebook, and
we need to
we'll try and keep that up to date. So far, me and Liam have been posting on Dan's been skiving. And yeah, so I'll leave it there, and we can move over to you, Liam, because I know Dan's not done anything unless he's gonna hold his sour up and pretend that's his hobby for the
I'm literally I'm doing a bit of hobby now because I'll just quickly shoot mine, Liam. I've done no hobby because I've been on holiday, but I've got a commission on my desk at the minute. But I promised the person that I'm not taking any photos or sending. Well, sorry, I didn't promise him. I said to him that I wasn't taking any photos, so it's going to be a complete surprise. But it's a Warriors of Chaos army, which is giving me a commission. And I'm probably about 80% there, so I'm doing all right. Although it's almost a team's event.
Yeah. You made progress this week then, because last time we heard from you, you'd done like one thing.
Yeah, so I've done.
Or you just saying you've done 80% to make him feel better, just in case he's watching.
Yeah, no, I have. I genuinely have. I'm just down to edge highlighting shields at the minute on 20 warriors. I've done some chosen knights. I've done in fact, I'll show you. I've done a what do you call it?
No.
What's this called? Giant spawn.
Chaos Spawn. Yeah.
Giant Chaos Spawn. Done this, and because he didn't have in element where he went to, he didn't have the Chaos Sorcerer, so I've had to be chopping this guy off a disc.
Oh yeah, because do they come fastened to the disc?
Yeah, the foot's fastened to the disc.
Yeah.
So that took most of my time. So I've done 7 models out of I've completed the 20. I just need to do the shields. Out of, so what's that? 27, 28, 33 models.
Have you got the big one still to go though?
Yes, which also needs converting and creating into the big one. So
I'm going to get ready for
the waiting parts for
a week on Sunday.
And
yes,
you're away tomorrow. You're away tomorrow at the final.
I will get it done.
You hungover on Sunday?
No, I'm going with my parents down to Wembley tomorrow, so
no, not be too
they
bad.
don't drink, so I'll not be drinking.
Yeah.
I might do when I get home though. If I get home, I might end up getting lost in London, mate. I'm not gonna lie. So Sheffield United are playing Sunderland tomorrow in the playoff final. And I'm a United fan, obviously, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, no, there's not much hobby apart from that, really. With them being in Ibiza for a week, just over a week.
What'll be next on your personal hobby pile, you think?
I don't know, mate. To be fair, so I have got a. It's not Old World, unfortunately, but I have got a Middle Earth event to go to, and I've just bought Sauron. So I've got Sauron to paint. That'd be quite nice. When I'm
spray it black, quick dry brush.
Yeah, I know it's not even like an exciting paint either. It's literally just it's a dry brush job. So yeah, but yeah, no, that's me. Nothing exciting for me this week, I'm afraid. I'm sure Liam's going to tell us all sorts now. He's done everything. He always does something.
Swap over the screens then.
Been on his Facebook.
Go on then.
On the Facebook channel, you'll see what he's been working on.
Go on then.
So,
you've just written a new game.
I haven't. I'm playing a really, really old game. So Mordheim was kind of the first game that I really got into, getting into the hobby. Group of guys at school thought it looked cool, so joined in. And like my gaming friends down here, we joke about it once every 5 or 6 years. Oh yeah, we'll do Mordheim. And after about 20 years of joking about it, we've actually decided to do it. So one of the guys bought a FDM printer. We've got a big board and a half gone, built, half painted. And yeah, so campaign starting at the weekend, and I'm really looking forward to actually playing it. And obviously, new campaign, new warband. So I'm going for something.
So what was your original warband, Liam?
It was Skaven.
I see you bought a photo box too.
I did buy a photo box as well to try and get some better pictures. But yeah, with Mordheim, like everyone plays the same core rules, but then every little group of people tend to like amend some slight rules to help with balance. So we're just playing.
Sorry, do they kind of like upgrade like they do in Blood Bowl?
Yeah. So it's a full narrative, skills, weapons.
Skill-based upgrades, which we're using for our campaign.
See, I've never ever played it. I've never ever played it, but it's one of the, I think it's the same for everybody. It's always been one of those games that looks incredible because you're playing kind of within a city, aren't you, or a town?
Yeah, no, it's cool.
So it always looked awesome.
I played a campaign or a campaign and a half, but it was when I was playing 8th edition, so the rules compared to 8th edition are quite different. But now with the old world head-on, they're actually quite similar to old world rules. So I think it'd be a lot easier to get my head around now.
So we're doing offhand attacks and -1 to hit. Clubs, which are like the most effective weapon, have gone up in coins. So they now cost 5 instead of 3. All armor, we're doing at half price because armor is ridiculously overpriced in most warbands, and only half the models in your warband can have a ranged weapon.
Stop a sling spam.
Exactly that. So I've gone with short bow spam instead, but we're nowhere near as effective. So I've got starting warband, but this is like everything I'm going to paint for the warband in one big go, apart from the 5 I've still got on my desk to do at some point. So I've got a set of 5 cave frogs, whatever you want to call them, and some snotlings, which are there to just get in the way. And I like the idea of putting
Empire Militia for this, couldn't I?
You definitely could. That Empire box that Empire Militia box was the original box for them.
Oh, was it? Right, okay.
Yeah,
because I know you're a really big fan of it, aren't you, Liam?
I love it. So I wanted more than one snotling on a base because it looked empty. So I've got upscaled these to 25 instead of 20. So
they look fun though. The snotlings look fun.
Yeah, I love.
I like the guy there with the sword, like really struggling to pick it up. Well, it's probably a dagger to him.
It's probably someone's toothpick. It's probably someone's toothpick, right?
I've got 2 big guys. I can only put one of them in the warband, so I've got 1 troll and 1 giant cave squig frog.
That cave frog thing looks so like zen, doesn't it? It's like
human face, doesn't it?
If you took like his back legs off, he's almost like a slant.
Yeah, he is like a big slant.
It's like slant
so
on the Harlequin. So it's basically that guy, but with two big ears.
I've got 3 henchman groups, so 3 with short bows, 3 with spears and shields, and 3 with clubs and shields.
Nice. Was this where your idea of doing the all night goblin army come from when you were painting these?
Yeah, so obviously Rob's got the 500 point events at TSN, hasn't he? And I've painted these, and it's like they're so cool models. If I've already started doing this, I can like just up it to 500 points of.
I was going to say the all night goblin army for 500 points, not too bad. Painting that for 2,000 or 2,600 points, it becomes a bit more of a big deal, all right?
Those events are actually amazing for starting new armies, aren't they? They're almost, that's what they're for. I know Rob said like they are literally for new beginners and stuff like that, which is fair enough. Which it makes total sense. But I think outside of the people trying to game it, it's a good starting point for new armies, isn't it? I think.
It is.
Yeah,
I've got the ideas and that around. Yeah,
I just got he made like a little pack.
I
had mine delivered today, so I'm excited to have a look at that. And
they're really well made those as well, because it's like the GHB ones, isn't it, from AOS?
Yeah, so I'm hoping to try and lure a few of my friends who are not involved in games at the minute, try and lure them in for a 500 point one.
Is that a fanatic?
Yep. So you can get fanatics with you get different weapons, but I obviously just for model wise got them both with ball and chains or rock and rope.
Rock and rope. This is Dowie After Dark.
And then my heroes, I've got at the back you've got 3 goons, which are like the hero basic equivalent. One of them's got the little boss pole, so he can act as like a secondary leader. Because you have a lot of models in a Night Goblin Warband compared to a normal one. I've got
that looks like a Slayer as well.
Yeah, Dead Slayer. A Squig Herder in the middle. to control the squigs. My boss, who I still need to think of a name for, and then his second in command in there as well, in a shaman.
Steve the Slayer.
The full lot of them all together.
They look great.
That's why I want to make it into I'm tempted to make it into a 500-point warband.
And even to get up to a 500-point warband, it's still probably quadrupling the amount of goblins.
Yeah, I think
literally 400 points.
I wrote it and it was like 25 and 20 goblins, 2 heroes, a unit of like 12 squigs, and then 5 squig hoppers, or something like that. And it's
like
so
goblin
horrendous.
characters are so cheap as well, aren't they? So you could actually get quite a few.
Yeah, like 40 points, 35, 40 points.
Yeah, they were just great weapon and shield, like nothing else on them.
I don't think you need it.
Can you get a level 4 it? Is it capped at 12?
Level 2. I think he's capped at level 2.
Is it capped at that? I think the points cap is 125. Is it for characters?
Yes, right here.
Yeah. You probably could fit a level 4 in there with a goblin one anyway.
Yeah, I think that's why it's capped at level 2, is because I think Empire and Goblin.
Just in case.
Yeah.
But away from the painting table, went and played one game. This was a practice game for the 1750 event down at Bash the other week, and against some Wood Elves. I'll go through my list shortly, but I've got a dragon, some berserkers, and some skin wolves down at this side of the board. I think when my photo's cut off, there's a unit of Marauder Cav with my level 2 in. And then over this side of the board,
you really want to win, don't you, with a dragon? You guys.
I've got the least number of dragons in the team.
I can imagine.
Equal. Giant Kelp spawn, some more skin wolves, and both sets of warhands and Marauder Cav. But Glenn, who's also coming to the event as a member of a different team, had a couple of wild riders, a lord and a stag, some glade riders.
It's a traditional Wood Elf.
Yeah, traditional. It's before Dan made the call on.
Yeah, he did ask me about it, and I was like, because it kind of twisted my arm about it actually, because I was like, actually, yeah, you're right. I think obviously everyone's seen the leaks and watched a preview. It's not great, but some of the items are great. So
the thing is, it's not even leaks at this point, because everyone's been able to publish their early copy reviews.
That's what I mean. Yeah, on the YouTubes and stuff. Yeah. I mean, I've even watched 2 battle reports with them already, and they've lost both, so they can't be overly. I mean, I think one was against Empire, what I watched today, and but it wasn't great, the list that he was playing against, and he just got wiped. So
I think Wood Elves are still a tricky army to use.
Yeah, they're a finesse army, aren't they?
Yeah,
you need to be able to use them to,
especially sort of like the Orion list with all the frenzy and stuff. It just becomes very difficult to control.
Yeah,
stuff. It takes a lot of skill to sort of use terrain and other interluding models to sort of keep you in check.
We'll get onto that anyway, because I think it's a good discussion point actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, we went off on a tangent.
Glenn got the first turn because he doesn't have any champions for me to fight before the game starts.
So you could just go to a roll off at that point.
Yeah, I'm finding more and more people just aren't taking them unless the army needs them to. I guess
challenges for dragons.
Your dragons get to do better then, so it's kind of swings and roundabouts. But my dragon went forward down the left flank on turn 1, got charged by some wild riders in Glenn's turn 2 because he couldn't avoid it. 8 them, turned around.
You set that up knowing that they'd have to charge you. Yeah.
Went into a tree man, killed a tree man, spun on the spot to go into the more into the middle of the lines. Over here, my giant spawn and the second tree man were fighting and doing the odd wound here and there, but my spawn kept losing combat, annoyingly. And some skin wolves did manage to get into the back line to start eating stuff while the dragon was preoccupying everyone else. A couple of action shots where the treekin went into a dragon just to try and tie it up for a round, and I rolled poorly and failed to kill them.
Treekin are actually pretty tough.
Yeah, toughness 5 is great, but I don't know. I think my dragon hit once on 3 of its 6 attacks. So just one of them days.
Yeah, because are they T5 and 3 wound, 4 wounds?
3 wounds, 5+3 gem.
Yeah. And then obviously if you get like Oak and Shield and stuff like that off, it's a bit of a tough nut to crack, isn't it?
Can be. But Oak and Shield's the caster in their unit, isn't it? So you need a
so you'd have to
unicorn mage in there now.
Yeah.
I think my demon prince got eaten by some treacle, and I was using him earlier in the year.
You really don't enjoy using that demon prince, do you, Jack?
No, he's.
Or he really doesn't like playing for you, should I say?
Yeah, I don't think he likes playing for anyone.
Yeah. On the right hand side photo, the tree man, after pushing the spawn back, went into some skin wolves and killed them. But in retaliation, the lord who came to try and finish off the cow spawn got eaten. So, same lord, it was only a captain.
Ancient tree man, or is this just a
normal tree man?
Just a normal tree man, and he smashed the tree off.
I just couldn't wound him, and he only had to do a couple at that point to win combat with no static was on my side. And then after a couple of turns of breathing fire on a unit of Deepwood Scouts, I set up the dragon in a position where the second unit wild riders, which had chased some dogs off the board, were going to have to charge the rear of my dragon, and again unavoidable. And I pick up the points, reform, go into the treeman, kill him, and pick up loads. But just before he rolled, I'm like, we measured it out. It's like if you triple one it, then you probably don't have to go in, and you fail the charge. And triple one it, and my dragon just got to finish off the last couple of scouts rather than eating another 400 points of Wood Elves. But end of the game, I had a bunch of buffs on the dragon. I'd won by about 600 points all in. So nice, steady warm-up game. Ready for the event?
So Liam's having warm-up games, and I've not even decided what army not even decided what faction I'm taking. Never mind what army I'm taking.
Well, you've only got until Sunday night.
There's plenty of time.
Yeah, well, Jack's captain, so we'll see how badly it goes.
I'm only captain because I signed us up for the tournament.
Yeah,
I'm going to put you down. I'm going to put you down. Anyone that's watching, Liam's going down as player 1. So
I'm going to say, we'll explain after, but it's doing it a different way, aren't we? So
yeah, but that's all my hobby. So into news,
really
I guess.
Then have we really since the last podcast? Sorry.
Yeah, Jack's only painted an army and a half.
Yeah, we've all been doing different things, odds and sods. Obviously, Jack's been painting. Yourself's been playing. I don't think you've really hobbied, have you, apart from the Mordheim crew?
No, but I tend to go through little stops and bursts. So I've done this Mordheim crew. I will now have a little break, and then I'll start my next army in the next few weeks, and just kind of up and down it, blast something out, and then have a little break again, and tend to work better that way rather than burning out.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess the only real big news is, of course, like we mentioned earlier, Wood Elves.
Yeah, and Salty Jack, because there's no Beastman.
I was hoping for Beastman. I've been promised Beastman. So I was a bit disappointed when I was hoping at least maybe they would have done like a double release and done them both at the same time, given that the Beastman got delayed or reportedly got delayed.
Oh, they openly said it in the Almanac article, didn't they? That they'd been in that kind of fluffy way, delayed and stuck in ambush. Yeah. And so I'm sure they won't be long before too long. And
hopefully
normal service resumed.
Too far.
I've got a feeling they'll
Cafe must be close now.
Yeah, I think they'll probably put them out for pre-order when the Wood Elves release, I think, which is the day before my event, isn't it? So
that'd be nice.
Yeah, that's what my hope is anyway. Well, obviously, I recently bought a Beastman army, didn't I, myself, so I wouldn't mind an arcane journal to go with it.
So carry on with that.
Yeah,
I figured what we'd probably do here, rather than go be another one of the podcasts doing a big review of the Wood Elf book for the 14th time is we just pick out some of our favourite bits from it.
Yeah.
Like kind of give it 10, 15 minutes and highlight what we like, what we don't like.
Yeah.
What we think is going to take the direction of the army in. So on this slide, I kind of put down things I think that we're all in for.
Yes.
In both Orion and the stag characters.
Yes.
So
lad on stag.
Definitely want to talk about lad on stag first.
Yes.
And we'll save Orion for when Jack gets back.
Yes.
So that the aspects are like a new way of adding buffs or bonuses to your lord in exchange for some very minor negatives.
Yeah, they're like the elven
honors,
aren't they? Yeah,
they are. And I think this. So we're just saying the aspect of the bear on the stag lord is my personal favourite.
Yeah, is that the +1 toughness, +1 strength?
Toughness. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I also quite like the aspect of the cat on like a dragon lord.
Is that the reroll challenges one?
Yeah, reroll challenges. I think that paired with like because you can get that as well as the other. Like it's a separate point allowance from the other current buffs, so you can really make like a really tough. Well, not tough, but it's a really hard to hit Wood Elf Lord on a dragon who is really good at hitting back, so can make for quite a painful character.
Compare that with is it the spear of Twilight? Is it one where you always big freeze? Yeah, that's the big. That's one. Almost like guaranteed winning every challenge, isn't it? Because you're not going to get hit, and then you're just going to murder the stuff back. Yeah, you've got the -1 weapon skill, -1 to hit in a challenge as well, haven't you?
Yeah, and you're hitting first most of the time anyway. So like, So as you just kill most things. Other than other dragons, you kill most things before they get to strike.
Yeah.
What I really like the whole stag party idea, where you're taking 2, if not more, of these either captains or glade lords on stags that have got a 2+ish armor save, maybe regen or ward. They help screen the wild riders from getting shot, provide cover, mobile cover, while they've got that 360 line of sight, and they can just charge off and not be worried about most things.
I'm going to say, and it can hit quite hard with the cavalry spear as well, can't it? Because it'd be, one of them will be strength 5 -1.
Well, strength 5 base now, remember? So
cool.
Up to strength 6, cavalry spear, strength 7 with a great weapon.
Yeah. I was hoping that they might have released a new stag model, because that one just looks like he's riding one of the old minotaurs.
Yeah, it's got a really fat head on it.
Yeah, like I'm not. Yeah, dude, they're not. Considering how like the new wild rider stags are like quite dainty, delicate, sort of, they look like Christmas reindeer, and then this guy is like, basically a minotaur. Yeah, so like I know he's supposed to be a big, like I guess it's similar to the
it is a great stag,
Royal Pegasus is to normal Pegasus and stuff like that. Like he is a bigger boy, but he's Is
it called a great? It is a great stag, isn't it? It's called.
Yeah, it is a great stag.
To be fair, he's not called the attractive stag.
Beastman stag.
Yeah, so
it's what most
I would have
people...
liked a new model, but
it's what you dress up as being the stag.
Yeah, because there's been no new model releases.
No, for Wood Elves, no.
No,
I think the newest model in that range is probably
I guess the Wild Rider kits and stuff aren't that old.
I'm going to say the newer plastic ones. So I think they were the last army to be done, if I believe.
They were one of the last ones in 8th.
They were the last army book in 8th, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was them and possibly Ogres. No, Ogres won't be.
No, Ogres were quite... Well, the Ogres were the...
I think it were Wood Elves, weren't it?
Brand new
Wood Elves were probably the last army.
Wood Elves were, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been nice.
I mean, that Orion model as well. I mean, I do like the one you've got, Jack. Just against it, it's just got a bit of charm to it. That one just suits aesthetically what is obviously is in what he's got in the game and stuff, like the bow and the horn and stuff.
Yeah, I was tempted to try and kit bash some sort of bow onto mine, but I couldn't find a bow big enough. I need to find someone who's got some of those the treekin type things with the bows and see if I can
think
repurpose.
I might have
The Kernel Hunters.
Kernel Hunters. Yeah, I'll bring you one on something.
Cool.
Next week.
You can just paint it up and I can just put it onto the back of him on Sunday. That'd be great.
Ethereal bow. I think I have. Yeah, I think because I've still got my silver now. So yeah, we'll have.
Yeah. Cool releases. Yeah. Again, this feels like another one of those journals that is more benefiting from items in it on the main army list than super competitive new armies. But I do like both of the new armies. I think the Orion one will be really fun, but unfortunately I think it looks like it'll run better without Orion a lot of the time. He's very he's
a bit overcosted.
I'd like to give him a go, but I just think he's 100 to 200 points overcosted.
I don't think he's that much. I think that like in himself he's not quite dragon level, but he's not a million miles away from it. It's like Chaos Lord, mounted Chaos Lord level without the 360, but with the ability to buff a wide variety of his army in that horn for that turn, and just turn it up when you need it a little bit. And I really like that ability.
I think the problem I have with it is you're also using maybe 200-300 points to screen him as well. So in effectively, he's costing nearly 700 points. Do you know what I mean?
No, he doesn't. Nowhere near. One eagle or screen him for that one turn.
He's not got 360. So yeah, you don't need much. But I don't know. I think against anything that's got ensorcelled weapons across the army or something like that, I just worry that those dogs are such easy combat res.
They definitely are, but at the same time, like unless he's fighting something with a 4-up ward or ward/regen combo, it's going to kill them. He's what, 5/6 strength 6, multiple D3 attacks at good AP. He's not got a
very
big
high
skill.
I think does he not get 6 attacks with Furious Charge?
He's got frenzy.
Yeah.
Extra attack from
it's
frenzy.
Just loads of damage in a really small bucket. You could argue that as annoying as the open order versus a skirmishing thing is, a skirmish frenzied 360 is probably better he doesn't.
Yeah, because you can almost control him then a little bit, can't you? I guess.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You just have an eagle slap just over lipping the one of the dogs on either side, and it sort of stops him from being able to charge. And that because they've got 360, they can charge off and open up those gaps for him when need to. And I like the fact that although like on paper you think, oh god, he's just going to get shot to pieces, because those dogs you can attribute your first 2 out of every 3 shots onto a dog that can't be wounded by a lot of shooting. Other than stuff like fireballs, any like magic missiles are going to be rough for him, but any normal shooting should be pretty okay. So and he's quite fast. So turn 2, hopefully you're getting charges in with him, right?
Yeah, in turn 2, well, you can do. It's just that lack of swift stride, which can be a bit of a hindrance.
Yeah,
but I say,
if you've got 2, 3, 4 units of wild riders alongside, and like you can't kill everything, so it's just again, it's another one of those ones. You just be hyper aggressive, and you gotta you got to deal with something.
Bodies in front of him.
Put him behind your wood on turn 1, running directly through it in your first go, and then when you have to tank one turn of it.
Well, that's it, isn't it? I think it's almost not telling you how to play, obviously, but you are having to use your tools that you're given, which is obviously you get your free wood and you get your fast hyper quick units that are, most time will charge off because they're impetuous.
So the new item that lets you teleport between woods, is that the caster that teleports between woods, or does it cast onto something? So could you like cast it onto Orion and ping him into a woods?
I'm fairly sure it's a character, because it's a spell from the.
It's the person that's using it.
Yeah, it's the tree lore, isn't it? Essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, is it not an item that lets you do that?
With an item that lets you cast a spell from the lore.
Okay.
And the other picture was we touched on them, but the 2 armies of infamy. So we've got the Eternal Guard, static, kind of hoping that some more rules come out to help benefit it in some way, shape, or form.
Tolson one,
yeah. The addition of the parry rule is interesting.
Get that +1 save in combat.
Whether we see that wider spread across infantry going forward.
I genuinely, I know people hate this one, but I actually quite like it because I think they can play high elves better than high elves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I don't think it's as bad as it people make out.
No, I like it because they can be on a 4-up save. They've got better weapons because they get -1 anyway on the spears.
Mm-hmm.
Are they weapon skill 5 as well? Those
I know
the Guardian ones are, aren't they?
Yeah, the new special ones.
Yeah, but then they get an extra attack as well, don't they? So your front rank, depending obviously how wide you get, are all getting 2 attacks with your support behind. +1 initiative if you're getting charged. +1 initiative anyway because you're elven reflexes. So I don't think that. I mean, they're going to get shot to death because they're elves. They're toughness 3 elves.
Yeah, like a lot of time you're going to want them stood in or around a wood. So
in a wood, exactly. To get your benefits. But I don't, because I quite like the character version as well. The character, is he called Guardian? The ones, that's it. The Warden, yeah. I quite like the Warden character because he's basically the Chirician Lord, isn't he?
Yeah, he's that betweener where he's kind of not quite a lord, but not better than a hero.
Yeah, because I think he has like 4 attacks as well.
3 wounds,
and you can give him a great weapon, which I think we talked about. Well, so he's got. Give him a great weapon. He always strikes first, but he's also got elven reflexes. So in the first round of combat is initiative 7, I think it is, with a great weapon. So that's nothing to be scoffed at.
Yeah, I guess the only risk is how does it still deal with a dragon?
Well, strength 6, I guess. Strength 6 -2, aren't they, with the great weapon? But
even if I roll terribly with my dragon, I've taken 2 to 3 wounds. However, will it cope from there on?
But I think that's just everyone, though, isn't it? Unless you've got a specific slaying dragon thing.
Yeah, it's holding it in place with the stubborn unit and then countering it, getting flanks, rears, stacking banners, war banners, battle standard bearer. That's how the army's meant to do it. But against a good player, you're never going to get that off.
There's the new really good 80-point banner as well, right? That will help.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say it's really good. I wouldn't particularly say it's good. But it is what it is.
Yeah, but no, I do like Araloth.
The old boy. The first one to discover the mortal realms.
Yeah, I like the one bit I like about him is his eagle. I think that's could be really quite useful in picking off like champions out of units, and it sort of opens.
Scarlet, is it? Scarlet?
The ice
something like that.
I think it opens up to play sort of using him just in a standard list with his dragon, and he's just really good at picking out those champions that would otherwise sort of challenge out the dragon. Like you just send your eagle in to pick their eyes out and kill them off.
I think a lot of people have got a bit tied up in the ability of the weapon, getting the initiative stuff, but that's exactly how I'd use it, Jack, like you've just said. Picking out unit characters. It says pick an enemy model with an 18. Yeah. So even something like wizards, I don't care about your initiative or your strength or whatever your weapon skill. I'm doing a wound to you.
Yeah, and it's because it's not shooting. It
it's ability.
You're not protected by within a 3-inch.
Pick a model with an 18, isn't it? And then on a 3+ you suffer a strength 4 hit.
A 2 plus. 1 to 2 you miss. 3+ you hit, and strength 4 AP1. Like that's most wizards. That's going through most champions. It's you've got probably a 50-50 chance of killing.
It's massive against stuff like your level 4 goblin mages, which are usually hiding behind a block of 90 goblin archers, right? Or inside that unit of 90 goblin archers.
I mean, the level 4s have still got 3 wounds, so it takes a little bit of time.
But I think, but if you're still threatening with, you've got some ambush and stuff going on behind.
Charge in some war dancers, do 1 or 2 wounds, and send in the I-5 to finish them off.
Yeah, and it's one of those where when you do get things down to 1 wound, and then people start trying to hide them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like you can't hide behind terrain or anything like that because it's just pick something with an 18 in it. So like usually be like, oh, just hide behind this building. Whereas no, actually.
Yeah, because you're gonna say I don't think it needs line of sight, does it either?
I don't think so.
No,
I think it's
nothing.
just pick with an 18.
It's just within 18. Yeah, because it's basically a bird in the sky.
It's in the sky, right?
Yeah. It's an eyeball thief.
Yeah, so I think there's some play with, it's expensive for that one purpose, but I think if you're using it alongside like your dragon, then it's there picking off the champions.
I don't think he's that bad in combat either, though. To be fair, I mean, he's obviously he's a lord level elf, isn't he? But
the problem is his weapons just
it's there, and
spear, which magic attack.
Is it +1/-1 AP magic weapons spear?
It's based.
I think it's
-1
points that you've got to then spend to protect him by having some infantry for him to be.
Yeah, I think he makes Eternal Guard immune to psychology.
That might be the warden who does that.
Is it I know one of them does that, which isn't actually that bad when you think about it. Like you said, fighting a dragon or something.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Like the book has a lot of items and rules and stuff that are very much centered around leadership and keeping it high. So it makes me wonder what's coming down the line for the.
Yeah, because Araloth
at the moment it seems a bit okay. Like they're already like leadership 9 or the majority of them. It's you don't use the leadership for frenzy or anything like that. So it's not like it's important in that instance. So it's interesting to see what were the thinking of the game going to need these extra rules. Like why is it an 80-point banner for +1 leadership? Like there must be something. There must be a reason somewhere for. Well, I hope, unless they were just smoking crack when they were making the rules. Like, hopefully there's something going down the line which makes them, actually useful. And and I guess given the Talcin ones centered around basically fighting beastmen, that maybe the beastmen book's going to come out and have some really horrible negative debuff type stuff.
Definitely.
I believe Araloth ignores all leadership modifiers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, negative leadership modifiers.
Yeah. So whether so great against vampires now.
Yeah, vampire necromancy type list where he's just
mortuary cult sort of stuff.
Yeah,
scream at me. I'm leadership 10. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're -5. No, I'm not.
Do you want to touch on the Wild Hunt as well while we're doing these two?
I like it, me personally. I really
like everything, Dan.
No, I do. I like it because I can go all mounted.
Yeah,
all mounted on everything. Like we said, I think it is a shame about Orion, like we've already touched on. I think the list is probably better without him in it.
Yeah, I don't. If they're giving him Swift Stride, just give him Swift Stride, and it makes him twice as good.
He moves 9 though, doesn't he? So it's like he's still already quick. But yeah, I think the Swift Stride would.
But he's slower than Wild Riders without Swift Stride and so stuff.
Yeah.
So you can't like that line that you have where you're like, okay, you've got to deal with it. He's then after turn, after they can charge turn 2, he can't. So like basically using it as like a second wave.
But they're all just going to leave me behind.
Yeah.
And like I guess the risk is obviously he's got his horn that you want to blow at a certain point, but when you get to the point where he wants to be charged and everyone else is already charged in, so it's sort of
a bit late.
Wasted and
it's almost like you need a couple of waves of them, don't you? Really, and that's the
with them being core, I guess you can.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anything to be scoffed at with the Glade Riders though. Because you can give them Furious Charge and Impetuous.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still not. It's not a lot attacks. Like you're getting a lot of.
Well, a unit of 10 with a Glade Knight is 11 attacks at strength 4 or -1.
The skirmishers, so they only rank up to whatever with the going in.
Yeah.
So
but
if you're going into,
because they can be close order as well, open order as well.
But you never go in 10 wide because you're hoping to. If you're doing that, you're hoping to go maybe 6 or 7 wide in a line, and then you hoping that the Furious Charge attack, the Orion Horn attack.
I don't know. Like if you're taking them,
bucket load of strength 4.
Why not just spend those points on Wild Riders? If you take them, if you take them for that role, if you take them for that role, but with Wild Riders in core, you can just take all Wild Riders. Like you don't need to take Glade Riders. They're just
You do need
worse,
Glade Riders for your bunker
worse
for your
Wild
wizards.
Riders.
You're level 2
You
wizards.
don't take. I don't think you take wizards. I don't think you take a wizard.
I still think you take a level 2 with the Oaken Stave.
Yeah.
Because we talked about the math, weren't we, in the WhatsApp group, and it works out, but it's roughly the equivalent of a level 4. Apart from the -3 inches range, like it's nowhere near as good as a level 4 with the Oaken Stave for dispelling. No one's claiming that, but it's still as good as my warriors get without the puppet.
I think I'm just taking another unit of Wild Riders over it.
Maybe.
Or even Sisters of the Thorn.
6 or 7 units of 5 or 6 Wild Riders. Just
I don't mind the little MSU units of Sisters either, because like I think in my list I've got 20 Glade Riders, 20 Wild Riders, and 10 Sisters with 2 Stag level 2s.
Yeah,
something like that, which is literally all mounted, and I think it comes out to about 98 or something like that.
It's not too bad then.
Yeah.
No, but I do need to get another.
You get a Vanguard banner, can't you, as well? The Vanguard banner on the Wild Riders as well.
Yeah.
Which is what you're always going to want. So
I don't know. I quite like because you play experienced players, they're going to stand right at the range and make you charge. So I quite like the reroll charge banner on at least one unit of the Wild Riders. Just so they think they'll be like, oh, you need a 6, and then like, oh, I didn't get it, but I've got a second.
Yeah.
Like,
you could do either, couldn't you? Because you could go Vanguard banner on 1, which puts you obviously 9 inch forward.
Yeah.
And then you've got your reroll charge one anyway for the second turn. Because that's the thing, isn't it? It's almost like you have to put it in the front of your opponent's arm with quite a lot of options to charge at, because you probably will end up charging at some point when you don't want to.
Yeah, and I guess Liam touched on it earlier with the stag characters. Do you put them in the units, or do you just run them?
I think you run them on their own.
If you run them on their own, you can do aspect of a bear. If you want to put them in a unit, you probably want to do
aspect of the Wild Rider or whatever it was.
Yeah, the one that gives them counter charge for the stag.
Yeah. Is it aspect of the Hound? Is it? I believe it's called.
Well, no, I think there's one which is just called like aspect of the Wild
Rider Kindred.
Yeah, Wild Rider.
Kindred.
Oh, the Kindred one. Yeah, you should have one or the other, right?
Yeah. If you put them on a stag, on a horse, I don't know, it gets confusing. But basically, we need that to go in the unit to retain counter charge. That's very important for unit with Furious Charge.
So the aspect of the Hound one is reroll any ones to hit in combat, which could be okay. And it's on the character and the unit for 20 points.
Yeah, I was playing with some builds. On characters using the Giant Blade, because you can get one of the aspects gives you AP 1 built in, so like that sort of
aspect of the ball
30 point weapon, which you very rarely see because it's got no AP built into it. If you can get 1 or 2, if you can get a bit of AP from one of these sort of bonus points basically, then I think there's some other weapons which then you might actually start seeing, because they're considerably cheaper than an Ogre Blade, and they're consistent with multi-wounds too. Yeah, I think there might be a bit of play with a few different weapons with these sort of different perks that you can.
I think the aspect of the ball with something like the Sword of Might could be quite good for 20 points, 15 points, wherever it is. You +1 strength, -2 AP at that point.
Yeah,
or even the Biting Blade.
Yeah, I was going to say the Biting Blade. Get yourself to AP3.
-3. Yeah. It's a lightsaber.
Because obviously you've got the new regen. You got the new regen item, so which I think is 35. So that could pair with the Biting Blade, like quite nicely. Get yourself a regen, but still be like a pretty hitty.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the idea of units led by a little hero. And if you've got multiples of those, especially elven ones, where you've got the strike first, so you can literally be charged and kill 3 members of the enemy's front rank who maybe are only 5 or 6 wide themselves. You can actually really dent the amount of damage that you're incoming to you.
Yeah, as long as you can avoid anything with impact hits, you're
you're good. But shall we leave Wood Elves there? And move on to the next, which was going to be
maybe next episode I'll talk about using Wood Elves at Dan's army if I decide to use them, but maybe I won't. We'll see. Liam told me I've got to be filthy to know Orion, he said.
I didn't say that. I remotely say that. I don't know how you dare. But yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming Wandering Warlocks 1750 event, which is 3-man teams a week on Sunday at Patriot Games. Obviously, me and Jack going up to support Dan, and unlike the last team event, we've decided to actually form a team ourselves.
Yeah, rather than being against each other.
Yeah, and we've got a chap called Rob coming up as our third member.
One of my friends who I'll be playing with on Sunday in this narrative campaign. So he'll be coming over from Cheshire to play with us.
It's coming a long way then to support you.
He's coming to support you, Dan, not us.
Support me, yeah. Oh yeah, appreciate it, guys. Yeah. I mean, you were always going to come anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, with this teams event, like it's basically your idea, Liam. I'm just putting it on because the initial, obviously, thought we had a chat about it privately, months ago now, I think, weren't it? And it was pretty much Liam's idea about what about a 3-man team? Actually, yeah, that's a good chat. I've never heard of a 3-man teams event before. And then obviously we talked about, I think we mentioned it on the last one of the last episode as well, about how the pairing's done. So you're submitting essentially slots within your own team, and that's who you play in the corresponding team. And I'm hoping and praying that BCP will let me just pair the teams up, and then it's all done internally, which is fine, which is perfect. So
I think it lets you do the teams, and then the teams go in themselves and
do it. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, brilliant. It makes it my life easier. So yeah, we've got a full complement. So there's 8 teams, so 24 players, which is good. So it's sold out, which is amazing. So appreciate that. And obviously Glenn, who you played previously, he's here with the team. We've got we've actually got 2 mercenary teams. Although, so the original mercenary team were just single players that said, "No, I'd like to come," and then, if anyone needs filling in, we can do. And then obviously we had actual 3-player teams signed as well. The 3 mercenary thing, you guys can be a team, so they were a team. And then we had to get another one, which Al's had to step up, which is fine, which is why there's always 2 of us. And as a TO, and I think Liam, you're the same. I would always advise anyone wanting to run events, have another person on standby, because nobody wants buys. Nobody wants to pay however much money, £75 to come up for a teamed event and sit out for 2.5 hours. No,
we do that every year. We have, so last few years we've had JP from Just Play come down to be our spare player for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, and I think it's a must. As an event organizer, I think it's a must, because I'd be fuming, and it has happened to me before buys. I'm not too fussed. That sounds a bit weird, but I'm not. I quite happily sit and watch games. I don't mind. But if I paid like big money for an event, I know you're going to, I don't know, let's say you went to one of the GWGTs and they didn't have a spare player. I know they always do. But just in case they didn't, you're like, well, I've spent £75 to sit here and watch other people play games.
Plus
it's one of those.
A hotel and
this is it.
It can be quite an expensive weekend.
Yeah,
right?
So that would be my advice to everyone that's wanting to run events: is make sure you've got someone.
I guess with team ones, it's hard because you could need
really
players, right?
I mean, to be fair, the community's helped out quite a lot. We had Tony, one of the guys who is from the Durham club. We all know him as Screaming Tony, don't we, Liam?
We do.
He plays Vampire Counts. I've seen his list as well. He's he's nasty. So
I don't know, because like 1750, can I get 3 screens in?
Well, it's get past everything else that's in front of it, I guess.
Well, is it just a lot of graveyard in front of it?
Yeah, so I mean, it screams, isn't it?
I was hoping that the format that you're doing would encourage teams of
some nice
3
lists.
aggressive lists rather than like having to have a
very
defensive list.
Yeah,
I think the whole no designated defender style just means that you've got to take an all-round list. You can't play for a draw and hope to get hope your two players win and win around that way.
Yeah. And
you either win or you lose.
It's kind of one of those, like as we explained in the last episode, with like you say, you had the defender and you had, just someone just to go and win games. I'm not always a fan of that because someone else is telling me how to play. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas this, because you don't know who you're going to play, you've got to take an all-round list, and and because it's maximum score out of your teams, you've got to score the best you possibly can. So you just want to go and smash somebody anyway. Really,
I think on that, a bit that's always stuck with me over the years is when I was first getting into the hobby, starting to get into events.
Yeah.
And this is 20 odd years ago now, and going down with a group of people from Nottingham to a South Coast GT on a minibus. And I remember one of the guys who was playing for Team England at the time was like, we were all talking about armies and what we were doing. It's like, I'm taking dwarfs. I'm going to go ruin the weekend for 5 other people.
Yeah.
He just wanted to practice for the EGC, sitting in the corner and trying to get 8 to 11 in every single game.
Yeah.
And that was his plan. And it's like, I want to see people play games. And that's why I also think that every team event should be odd numbers of players. Just because it means that you can't trade matchups all the way through and tie it out. Like make someone play it more.
As the defender from the teams last time we discussed, it was
Bus boy.
By the end of the weekend,
not defender.
I don't know. It can get a bit tedious by the end of the weekend when you.
Yeah, I think that's it, and I think I am glad that you did put the idea forward actually, because it's the first time I've run a teams event before, but it's the first time I've done something like that, like you say, odd numbers and a different way of matching up. So I'd be interested to see how that goes, and if it goes well, I'd probably use it in every other teams event I run, because I like the idea of you've kind of got control of where you're going to play, but you don't know who you're going to play, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so obviously you don't know. I like
the best player in one. Which you think you probably should, because they always put the best player in one, but what if they all put their worst player in one so that they neutralise that other opponent's best player, and then you've got two matchups I think they can win on players.
I'd say it's the mind games before the event, isn't it? It is.
I quite like it.
I do quite like it. Yeah, it's the whole. I mean, going back to Middle Earth, I went to a Middle Earth event with the Warrior Lodge lads, and we randomly drew all of our games. Not everyone else did. Not many people wanted to. We were like, well, these are ours. They're all upside down. You pick who you want to play. None of us knew what it was.
I like it. It feels more like a normal GT. It feels like you're just playing normal GT games, right? But you're doing it as part of a team. So you're just going in to win, and as high as you can. Yeah. In the hope that the rest of your team is doing it as well, but you're not relying on them.
Isn't it?
It is, yeah. So I've put the parameters on it. So you'll win your matchup. Obviously, 2-1 basically is the way you win the matchup. Obviously, the best score is 3-0, but you'll obviously get the win if you score 2-1, which in theory most, well, if not all of the matchups should be 2-1, unless you obviously draw in the game. Yeah. So there could be some draws. Yeah, because you could win, lose, and draw one, couldn't you? So.
Yeah.
And obviously with the way I do the scoring as well, which is rule book essentially, you could do that, because again, you don't know what you're going to be playing. So you might come up against something that's totally counter, you get battered, but then equally in the next one you might be batter the other, or you're just exactly the same list, and it's down to the player skill then, isn't it? So I think there's a couple of good players there as well, which will be nice to see.
Just not on our team.
Just well, I didn't want to say that, did I? But no, do you know what? It's probably one of the only ones. I'm probably going to be a bit jealous about that I'm not playing, because I do like a good teams event. Usually, I like to, when I'm TOing, I just like to focusedly do that, because I have TO'd and played in a teams event before, and it was horrendous. Trying to actually sort everything out, do all the pairings, do everything else. So I'm never doing that again. But yeah, it's going to be one of those where I'm going to be sitting there thinking I'd love to be playing in this now. But no, it's good. It's good. Hopefully everyone gets a listen on Sunday.
I've already submitted.
Yeah, Robin Lee.
No, you guys. Yeah, that's because I literally talk to you two every single day.
Yeah, but so Robin Lee, we got theirs, and mine's still in
lingering. Is it?
Different lists.
Is yours still VC Wood Elves? Is that what it is? Is that why?
This could be Vampire Cats, could be Wood Elves, could be Chaos,
could
be
Ogres. Whatever you find in your garage.
Yeah, maybe I'll just do a lucky dip and go in and
pick
touch a box and see what's in there.
Yeah.
I might actually use a random generator app and just put in the 8 different armies.
I'm going to say, you might as well. It's just easier than actually physically going in and trying to find something.
Yeah.
I've actually bought some more terrain as well. So we've got every table should have the GW Hills on them now. I know not everyone's a fan, but I think for something like this, I think the boards need to be equal because it's a teams event and you're all three of you are playing the same mission and everything else. But obviously for our other events, we try and we do narrative. Oh, it's gone off here.
Oh,
sorry, someone put on the stage. I'll edit that out.
It's fine. There's no way you're going to edit it and get it out before Sunday anyway. So
I don't know why it did.
It's fine.
Liam's going to despite when I accidentally random draw Demons of Slanesh or something for the weekend.
Yeah. You know what? I keep looking. That's the only legacy army I own is Demons, but it's all Tzeentch. I keep looking at them. I keep not keep a secret. Slow to change. And I'm like, it'll look really awesome on the table, but Demons are so bad.
My Slanesh are probably like my best painted army, and I look at them like, oh, this looks really nice. But
the colour palette on Tzeentch is brilliant, isn't it? 'Cause it's all bright, it's pink, blues, purples, yellows. It looks amazing on the table, but they're so bad. So I'm
it's given that you're not playing Renegade rules, so the ward save isn't always a ward save.
No, I'm not playing Renegade rules yet. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Not for this one anyway. So obviously I've got the 2K one, the weekend one in July as well. I've not made the decision on that yet, whether we're going to do Renegades or not.
I've not seen huge amounts of sort of feedback as a whole. Like obviously we play Renegades at the teams, and there's a small pool of feedback, but I haven't seen. I'm hoping at some point Val and
I mean obviously
Rob
we're all in
put
that
out
chat.
an update of like a video of sort of a summary of people's feedback after 3 months or whatever.
Yeah, I mean I've not really been. I mean obviously you guys, or mainly you, Jay. Obviously you play at Rob's quite a bit, and there is a lot of legacy armies there. I don't think there's many. In fact, I know there's not many within my local community, so it's not really been a thing for us.
Yeah.
We've got a lad who plays Ogres who's actually winning the league at the minute, but he's not using Renegades, so obviously he clearly doesn't need the Renegade list.
The Ogres Renegades didn't make huge.
Yeah,
amounts.
so I think the only other players we've got are Chaos Dwarf players, which I don't think they needed it either.
I don't think it just makes the really expensive infantry able to be cool. Core is the main change in there.
Yeah,
and
so
getting mounts for hero level sort of characters.
Yeah. So that's it really, because we haven't really got anyone who plays Vampire Count. A couple of people have got the armies, but they don't play them.
Yeah.
So it's not really been a thing for me.
I'm not a massive fan. I think they've made a couple of errors, which I'm not saying Games Workshop haven't made errors in some of their released legacy army lists, but I think they overcompensate in some areas that lead to issues that I think were shown quite clearly at the teams event the other week. And I don't want to go into loads of it, but there's just bits of it that I think don't improve the game for both players. And if it's not improving for both players, then I don't see why it's a thing.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I've not even looked at it properly, so I don't know what's in it, what changes it makes. The only big thing I heard was the Howder rule, which obviously fundamentally changes something in the game. I think. Again, I'm not knocking it because someone's literally Val's gone through and sat with and gone put a lot of time and effort into it. So fair play for that. But
yeah, I'm sure there's still iterations. I don't think he said himself like it's not. This isn't the rule set now. It's something that'll just be fluid, and as people feedback and stuff, it'll change. So hopefully,
well, that's it. It's a free set of rules that anyone can use in it, which is fantastic. So it's a choice, isn't it? Like I say, for me, it's not. I've not had to make that decision because no one's asked or no one's really.
Now you've reminded me. I've also got my Chaos Dwarves that I could bring.
You know what?
Which armies are best in the 0 to? Which ones are least limited in the 0 to 1 characters? Like my Beastmen, rubbish because I can only take a level 4 or a Doombull basically. Whereas Warriors of Chaos can still take
a level 4
and a level 4. And I think the Chaos Dwarves can. Vampires are limited, so I need to have a look through.
Wood Elves can because of the Treeman Ancient.
They can take an Ancient Treeman. Yeah. Although you've not got many points left over for the rest of the army after you've got.
You're limiting yourself by taking an Ancient.
What I do know about some of the teams, obviously, I know what your guys' armies are, kind of. I know what Al's team's armies are. There's a full orc team, which is fantastic, and they're all three of them are running. So I think one's running Grand Army.
One is running the different ones.
One's running.
Well, we were hoping to do that with
Trolls,
Beastmen. If the journal had come out, we were all going to run a different Beastmen, different Beastmen army, but that didn't play out. And Liam's not got a Wood Elf army, so we couldn't do it.
Maybe they're just leaving them to the end because they're going to be the most broken arcane journal ever, and then everyone will play Beastmen.
Who knows?
Who knows? Because that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people have still got Beastmen from Age of Sigmar, haven't they? So they're almost like waiting to crack them out.
What's the like? Do you find that a lot of your all-world players are from Age of Sigmar, or do you find a lot of them are just old
there are. I mean, there's a few
that are drawn back in.
Yeah, there's a few that still play Age of Sigmar. Various other venues in Sheffield as well, Element and Outpost. So they still play that, but they do have a lot of crossover. But one of them, in fact, hold on, no, two of them have jumped from AOS to Old World because they use their AOS models and they bought the the converted trays. Because I said to him, look, because this essentially they don't like this latest iteration of the rules for AOS 4. Which I don't personally. I'm not a massive fan
of the next one, so it's not worth.
So they're just hanging on for the next GHB, which is due out next few weeks or so from as of recording. But so they've jumped over for that until obviously AOS comes back out. But yeah, a lot of the other guys have got armies for both. I mean, I've got armies for AOS as well, obviously, but so they split them up. So like within our community in Sheffield, we've kind of all come together and agreed on different days where we do the clubs and stuff. So obviously we have Wednesdays for our Old World Club, and then there's so Mikey runs his 40k club at Outpost, and then there's also the Tilted Anvil guys, which are basically Sheffield Rotherham Barnsley maybe. So they're like a community that go and play AOS on a Thursday. So we all kind of miss each other anyway. So it's good for if people want to go and play 40k and play both. So it's kind of a nice little agreement we've all got within that. And then I think Mondays is Middle Earth, Mondays at Outpost, I believe, something like that. So yeah, it's good. But I think we tend to get like looking through our Discord and stuff like that. I mean, all of the obviously the Sheffield community ones. We're definitely the busiest in terms of on a night. So on a club night, we'll fill 16 people in where, I mean, I'm not, for whatever reason, they might not get 16 or whatever anywhere else, but I don't know if that's because obviously we use all our terrain and stuff as well. So we set everything up for people so they don't have to come and book a table and do it, or we just organise it all for people. Yeah, it's like bring and play. So we'll do all the matchups and stuff as well. So, which I believe Mike is actually doing in 40k now, which is working well for him as well. So I personally, I think it's a great thing. I mean, I think they do the same thing at Bash as well, Liam. They set a table and stuff for you. Yeah.
Everywhere, all game systems have dedicated nights, and with either Discord groups or Facebook communities, and you just sign up, you get matched into somebody by the designated player who organises it. and it's definitely the best way to grow a community. Like find a local gaming store that can host and just go for it. Turn up regularly, play games, and people will come. What's the saying? Like, well, if you build it, they will come, or whatever.
That's it. I think in Sheffield, where I'm lucky anyway, because we've got 3 stores where you can go and play, and there's obviously the other clubs as well. There's 2 like working men clubs groups as well. So for every night, you're not you're not short of somewhere to play in Sheffield, which is a good thing. So
Liam, we need to update at some point on your slow grow league with the map and stuff. We need
we do.
Died off a little bit at the moment. We've had people kind of just real life reasons. So I promised them a bit of an update, and I'm hoping that when we go to, I think I've said 1500 in June, I'm hoping that at that point we'll have a few people kick on and they can start adding bigger things into their armies and stuff. So hopefully in the next couple of episodes we'll be able to do something about that.
Yeah, that'd be good. I wouldn't mind doing like a feature thing on that, because I like literally everything you've done for that campaign is amazing. Like the maps and all the stuff that you've got for the moving around and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind just doing a feature episode on Liam's campaign. That'd be a good idea.
Give it a go.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I'm just thinking about something then, like with the with our community and stuff. And I was saying with the ogres and the lad who's actually currently winning our league. He's played 10 games as of Wednesday just gone, and he's only drawn 1 and won 9 with ogres at 1500 points. And he hasn't changed his list, because the stipulations you can change your list within, and you just can't change your faction. And it's literally the same list as all the time. It's a cannon, the big cannon, a Gorger, Beast Claw Raider Riders, or whatever they're called now. On a Thunder Tusk, I think it is, whatever the cheaper one is. A unit of lads, a butcher, and some Nobblers. No idea how he's just smashed me as well, but he's just smashing everybody. I don't understand.
The thing is, like, ogres struggle with high damage output single pieces.
Yeah.
That stop them coming. And if you're not
1500 points.
You've limited characters, haven't you?
Yeah, characters as well, yeah.
So there's no dragons, there's no Chaos Swords of Ogre Blades, there's all that's like toned down. And there's always a chance that, I'm not saying he's not playing well, he clearly is if he's won that many games in a row, but maybe it's just taken the edge off the natural predator of the ogre.
Probably is, yeah. I'd agree with that, because the toughness 4 with 3 wounds apiece per model.
Yeah,
you need quite a big hitting unit, don't you?
Do you remember when the game launched and everyone thought Monstrous Infantry were going to be absolutely fantastic?
Yeah.
And it's just not planned out that way. But on first reading, there was everything
like dragons.
So my biggest issue when I was playing my ogres was the games when I came up against 1 or 2 dragons. And it wasn't that they would kill me, it's just that I couldn't beat them in combat and they just pushed me off the board after 3 or 4 turns.
He uses Mournfang as well. He uses 4 Mournfang, which are really good when he gets all these buffs and stuff on them as well. So
there's not if there's not that threat of the dragon in there, then there's not much to be scared of as ogres. Like you can quite easily retain your points and sort of, they're not the fastest army to with the Mournfangs maybe, but they're not the fastest army to chase down multiple targets. They might be only getting sort of narrowish wins, but like there's not much out there other than the dragons, which really threaten to rip them apart.
Yeah, I'd have liked to have played in with the list I have been running, which is the all cavalry Lord of the Rings list with high elves. I think I could have done some damage with that, but I've literally pushed the limit on the characters. Well, I think I've got a prince on a griffin.
I think elves are good against them because of the high weapon skill compared to the weapon skill.
I mean, I've used that list 3 times now, and I've max scored. Apart from the last game I played, I played Wednesday, played Empire, killed everything but a steam tank. So I'm not going anywhere near that because that'll just cost me points. So I just ran around it. But no, I'm not going to swear, but that Ring of Fury is absolute ridiculous.
It shouldn't be a common item.
It should not be a common item. Not at 25 points. I'd be like, okay, yeah, 30 points, fair enough. You can take it on certain champions' characters, not on every single champion in the High Elf army. It's just stupid. It's so stupid, and it's really easy to cast as well.
Would you be able to use that in a challenge against your champion at the start of the game, Liam? Yeah.
No. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Because it's just a combat phase.
Yeah.
So you get to go.
You get to use an assailant as well.
I think I'm 99% sure you can. Like,
yeah.
You just don't issue a challenge to an elf because you know what people have got. The elf strike first, and you've usually got either.
Not much armor.
I've come away from the Huskarls as part of my list a little bit, and I'm just rolling with that Berserker champion, and against any other normal unit champion, he's probably going to win.
Yeah.
But when you get to like elite heavy infantry or someone who can take a magic item, that's when you start to worry. And as much as I love going first and doing that whole rah kind of feeling with the whole list, sometimes there are just games where you want to go second. Because it gives you a chance to react last.
Right? You would not even be able to. You wouldn't even be able to try and deny it either, would you? The Ring of Fury, because it's not in the game, is it?
How'd you dispel it?
Yeah.
Can you have a fated dispel?
Maybe.
Well, it's before the game actually starts, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah. So you might be able to have a fated dispel, but
you're going to get one fated per turn, don't you? But it's not a turn. So
God
knows. This is far too complicated.
Yeah. Don't accept challenges with it just because it takes too much.
I mean, I've got 5 in that list. I've actually got 5 in that list, and that's that. I think that's what's been winning my games. So it's a bit rough. Not gonna lie.
But then I think if you come into a Warriors of Chaos army with a puppet, then
exactly, yeah.
What are the odds of you actually getting them off?
The puppet doesn't work on bounce spells.
Oh yeah, bounce.
But the thing is, again, so it's that style of list where that Ring of Fury does a load of damage at strength 4. Because there are no big dragons, because there are lots of big monsters, it's actually moving the goalpost of what's good.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it before. That's why I like comp. It's not because it fixes the game's problems; it shifts the goalpost and makes people think.
Exactly that. I mean, obviously you can't take dragons, but you can take Steam Tank, and that's exactly why I stayed away from it, because I am not.
I think what can you do?
It's literally all it's gonna do is just gonna keep killing elves, keep giving points away. So all I did was just ran around it and hopefully didn't get steam guns, and I didn't. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of a bit naughty. So my prince has got all the usual stuff, but he's on a griffin instead. So he's under the 350 or whatever it is I've capped it at. But depending on who I'm playing, I can flip the talisman of protection to the Lawmaster's cloak. So when I play against people who've got magic missiles, like Vile Tides, because there's a lot of Beastmen players, he's got 4 at ward against it all. And I'm like, why? I went, because you're shooting a magic missile at me.
Yeah, just protects me, doesn't it?
Yeah, so but I do say, like, he doesn't have a ward in combat, but if you shoot magic missiles at him, he's got a 4 at ward, so it's up to you whether you want to do that.
Maybe we'll try and get like a short report from one of your Wednesday night league games at some point then.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, do you know what? I'd even thought about filming one of them. Just on the phone, just and having a little look and popping it up on here. Something I've been thinking about anyway. Us being proper YouTubers and filming battle reports, eh? Imagine that.
But yeah, so we'll keep you updated around the event at the weekend. We'll maybe try and put some Facebook posts up mid-rounds, that sort of stuff.
Well, I can do that on both of them anyway, so I'll upload them to the to our Facebook page, and I'll also be putting them up on the Wandering Warlocks as well. So we'll get updates, hopefully. If I can take it off, I usually take my phone and my camera as well, so I can get some good photos. So what I'll do is I'll make an album. Say again.
Have you got our trophies ready?
Oh, the trophies. Well, they're here, but they kind of need assembling. So I've got a bit of hobby I need to do before
you got to paint an army for someone and then build all the.
I've got to paint an army, and I've got to make all that, and I've also got to 3D print the there's spoons for people as well. So
Well,
I've got a lot on next.
Maybe the spoons are for us rather than the trophies. We'll see.
Yeah,
maybe.
But maybe we can post our lists onto our Facebook group or something before the event and
yeah.
have a look.
I mean, once I've checked them all, I'll probably make them public Wednesday or Thursday. Anyway.
It's just pain when you're not a member to BCP. You can't even if
you
can't see them. So
there's your homework then, Jack. When I've released the list, you can make them all into a PDF for me. Thank you for volunteering.
It was a pain last time. Oh, look, maybe. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there for this week, and we will try and get something recorded pretty quickly after the event, and let you know what we've been up to. Maybe Dan will have done some painting. Who knows? Liam will probably painted another 4 more bands by that point because he's focused on more time.
You'll have found
I want to do one more thing before we disappear on. And that is we promote, we don't promote, but we mentioned Dan's Wandering Warlocks and his events. We've put up tickets on sale today for War in the Heartlands Act 5.
I was actually going to say, Liam, do you want to have a word about what else is happening?
So it's a big Age of Sigmar and Old World event ran in Leicester at the Montfort Student Union. It's the same location that Goonhammer use for all their events. It's big, air-conditioned, student price bar in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
It includes food on both days, really good quality food. We had people last time saying, actually, you know what, it doesn't matter. I paid 20 quid for this in a restaurant. So it's well worth the ticket price. We know we're expensive at 80 quid a ticket, but it does include food on both days, tea, coffee in the morning, with loads of prizes, loads of support, great tables to play on. And so we will get an event back up at some point over the next few weeks. We'll set a long comp at some point, probably kind of late summer, depending on if GW do anything.
Presume you're not using Renegade.
We will not be using Renegade, no.
Are you using Legacy? Because last time you were even umming about that.
I will probably end up, I think we are going to allow Legacy, but definitely not Renegades. It'd be great to see people if you can make it up or down.
I'm going fixture permitting.
I hope I can grab some tickets.
I think one thing I will say, Liam, and this is from experience. Obviously, I've been to Hearlands before. The ticket price, don't be put off by it, because when you go, because of the bar, you technically you'll spend the same money. You know what you would do if you went to, let's say, Warhammer World, where the pints are a lot more expensive. Whereas obviously in your event, the tickets are £80, but the beer's like 2 quid. So you will spend the same, if not less, anyway. That's one thing I will say about it. And apart from that, it's an amazing event.
Do we have to engage with Age of Sigmar players though?
Depending on where we put you last year, we had the Old World, we only had 12 Old World players last year.
Can't you put them outside?
We had a nice little row of them down one edge. We had like 360 walking around over tables. If we get anywhere near the ticket size we want, we've got 124 spaces, we probably won't be able to give 360 around over tables and split between the two systems, but there's plenty of room, enough. We could fit more than that. That's our comfortable limit of fitting people in without having to put top tables on the stage or anything like that. Make sure there's plenty of room for a breakout area and all that stuff. So at the minute,
how do you have the train and mats and stuff for all this?
We hire it.
Hire it.
Yeah.
I don't mind helping you out with the Old World stuff if you need it as well.
Thank you. I mean, Old Worlds are easy to do. I've got 2 mats and 2 and a bit tables worth. We've got all of us. Like Mark's got a couple, Andy's got a couple, Tom's got one. So it's not terrible, but we hire it. So part of the ticket cost is getting good quality terrain and tables. But that's my little thing.
I'm more than happy to help you with our terrain, mate. If it
thank you.
So maybe maybe we can put a link in the description to Liam's tickets.
Yes, I will indeed.
warintheheartland.com.uk, I think it is.
Yes, because Mark actually reminded me of one of the posts I shared with Wandering Warlocks. For some reason, I managed to cut off the thing at the bottom.
But there's loads of pictures from previous year's events on there. So give it a look out, and hopefully be all good.
Yes.
Great.
We'll all be
All right,
there,
well-
and then I'll be winning it all with my 12 rings
Can't
of
see that
fury.
happening.
Well,
Right.
thanks
Maybe.
everyone for listening. Don't forget to
Thanks,
like
guys.
and subscribe, and maybe even share if you're feeling generous. And we will.
Or just keep listening. We need more subs because we're on 74 people, 74 subs. We've mint to get to 100. I might try and give something away. Maybe that's what the YouTuber's doing. If you get to 100, give something
Dan will
away.
commission paint an army for you if you get to 100.
Yeah, no.
Maybe a more time warband.
Yeah, I might 3D print you something. Maybe, I don't know, trophy or something. I don't know. We'll find something.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. Thanks, guys. It's always a pleasure to see you. We'll chat soon. Bye.
Yep.
Ciao.